Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be looking at factoring for review for Math 0662. We'll start with a regular quadratic polynomial. If we have a function in the form x squared plus bx plus c equals 0, how can we factor this? Well, factoring is taking this function and putting it into two sets of parentheses. Both sets should have an x in them, because when we multiply we should have an x squared, and then we should be adding numbers. We'll call this number d and this number e. Now, looking at this, when we expand it, d plus e should equal b, but d times e should equal c. So if we look at our value for c, we can look at all of the common factors to figure out when d plus e should equal b. Let's look at an example. If we have x squared plus 6x plus 5 equals 0, how can we factor this? Well, we need to have an x. We need to be adding or subtracting a number. If we look at the common factors of 5, we can have 1 and 5, 5 and 1, -1, -5, or -5 and -1. We can use the top two. And then to figure out the zeros, or when x will equal 0, we can say that each set of parentheses equals 0 because two things multiplied equaling 0, both parts should equal 0. For the first set, x should equal -1, and for the second set, x should equal -5. Now, let's take a look at a special case. With our special case, if we have the form x squared minus a squared equals 0, how can we factor this? Well, we can see right here that we don't have our middle term, bx. This means that when we do this, our bx should cancel out. The left side, or one set of parentheses, should have an x plus, and the other side should have an x minus. We should have a and a, because a times -a is -a squared. If we want whole numbers, a squared can only be a perfect square, such as 4, 9, 16, 25, etc. So this is the solution here. As an example, if we have x squared minus 36 equals 0, we see that 36 is in place of a squared. So we take the square root of that, and 36 should just be 6. Now we can have x plus 6 times x minus 6 equals 0 as a factor. And to figure out our zeros, we can see that x plus 6 equals 0 and x minus 6 equals 0, which means that x should equal -6 and +6. Now let's move on to a special case of cubic polynomials. With cubic polynomials, we have the form of x cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d equals 0. Now, in order to factor this, we need to take a couple more steps as compared to the quadratic polynomials. We need to factor out a common term here and a common term here. We'll take this common term to be e and this common term to be f. What we'll be left with is an x plus a number, we'll call it g, and over here we'll have f times x plus a number h. Now hopefully g will equal h, and from here we can combine these. We can say e plus f times x plus g equals 0. If we take a look at an example, x cubed minus 5x squared plus 2x minus 10 equals 0, how can we factor this? Well, if we take a look at the first two terms, our common factor out of here is x squared. With the right two terms, our common factor is 2. Now what's left for the left part is x minus 5, and for the right part we're left with x minus 5. So we can combine these, x squared plus 2 times x minus 5 equals 0. And that's about it for factoring. Thank you for watching.